busted through all this red brush. Now, had you e-scouted that a little bit and you saw oaks on the other side of this heavy kind of cover?
Yeah, and there's on Onyx, there's that layer that shows you the historical oaks. And so I was looking in there and I was like, I bet that's thick. But I talk about a pattern where I'd hunted before. It mirrored that same look with topography and how thick it looked in the oaks. And I was like, I bet it looks similar. So I got in there and it wasn't like 30 minutes and here come deer, just all sides.
See, what I love about that story is a lot of guys won't bust through briars. They won't go through that heavy crap because they're not mobile. They can't go through that stuff with a tree's hang, even with a hang on, because it's such a big cumbersome frame on their back. Definitely not with a ladder stand, but because you're so mobile, you can bust through that stuff, even though it's still difficult. You're having to spin in circles to get the briars off you while you're moving forward. But a lot of times when you do that and you go through this dense stuff, it breaks out into an open utopia for deer, you want to say. A lot of times, when I'm crossing rivers to get rid of other hunters on public land with waders or whatever, there's going to be brush along both sides of the river. But once you cross the river and go through that buffer of brush along the edge of the river, it opens up into a deer utopia where there's, oaks and, some sort of nut trees for deer to feed on. And they can feed on those before they cross the river and exit after dark. That's cool. I love that. That's a great story.
Yeah,
you kill something on the second hunt. You got one on the first hunt, and the second one you saw a lot of deer, and the potential of killing a big buck was there. It just didn't happen on that set.
Yeah, that's right. No, it was fun, and trust me, I hate walking too through all that thick stuff. But usually when I have my compound and my compound's like, I don't know, it's not super heavy, but I noticed even switching to that recurve, it's like 2 pounds. It's like, oh my gosh, I am the mobile hunter of all mobile hunters with this thing. Cause it's just a stick. Like you're carrying a stick and then your saddle and your sticks. You're like, I can go anywhere. Yeah. I can walk as far as I need to. It's awesome.
Are you the guys that I did those modified saddles for?
No,
Oh, okay. I did a podcast.
But you can send me a modified saddle if you want.
I did a podcast with two guys, and they sent me saddles and I had them modified. So I was just curious.
Well, you
mind me asking what you're using?
Yeah, I was using.
How long have you been doing it?
Yeah, I was using a cruiser saddle.
A lot of good things about the cruiser, comfort-wise.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We was using the cruiser, and then I was running an out on a limb platform and sticks. They're pretty light. So yeah, that's just what I've ran for the last few years.
Those are Shakir sticks, I think.
Yeah, the Shakars. Yep.
Shakars, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, they were neat. So it was fun. I love saddle hunting. I had to twist Jake's arm, but he's in the game now. He's been in the game for a couple years.
It wasn't that I didn't like the idea. I just didn't like the dollar amount that came behind that idea. But it's like a buy once, cry once thing. And I will say I was skeptical at first, but it's night and day, like 20 times better than carrying a climber or a hang on or anything like that. It's enjoyable.
And once you get a saddle you're comfortable with, I'm still hunting out of the same saddle I bought in 1981. Mm-hmm. I've made modifications to it, but it's the same saddle I've hunted out of for 43 years. And yeah, so it's a one-time deal. You never have to buy another tree stand the rest of your life. So that's a huge monetary savings, even though you got to spend maybe $600 or $700 to get into saddle hunting correctly. But that's a one-time.
Right. What was modified about those fellows' saddles, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, they had bought my signature saddle, the ESS, and my signature saddle has stuff on it that I don't like on it because it had to be on there for liability purposes. I am not a leg strap guy. Those get cut off immediately. So the leg straps got cut off. The little hooks on the D-rings got cut off that the leg straps attached to. Also, I am not a fan of the belt, the waist belt on an ESS. It comes off the inside of the saddle on your hips. So you've got a lot of your saddle hanging down in front of you while you're walking, if you're wearing it, or while you're climbing the tree. So I cut the waist belt off. I actually have an Amish guy that owns a harness and saddle shop. He does this stuff, but he cuts the waist belt off, and then I put a quick attach strap through the D-rings, and it goes over to this side of the saddle, and there's a quick adjust buckle, just like you'd have on a backpack. Backpack straps, we put it on, you just grab that tag into that strap and pull it down, and it snugs it up.
Mm-hmm.
If you step into the saddle, pull it up above your waist, grab the tag end of that strap that's going through the D-rings, and then pull on it, and everything tightens up. D-rings, everything's tight around you for climbing or walking or whatever. And then I also made a fixed bridge. Most saddles come with an adjustable bridge, which the ESS does as well. And once you figure out your bridge length, you never change it. You leave it the same all the time. So I tell people, hey, get the bridge length you like, adjust it how you like it. And then, when you send it to me to get it modified, I'll just have him cut off all the adjustment stuff and just make it a fixed bridge of the same length that you like. Mm-hmm. So you're getting rid of an adjustment buckle. You're getting rid of a tag end of the bridge strap from the adjustment buckle. You're getting rid of this heavy waist belt with the huge buckles, the disattached buckles, and putting on plastic, just a quick adjust strap on it. And you're getting rid of the leg straps. So it rolls up into it's literally the size of a softball when you're done, when you roll it up.
That's awesome.